This is the third grade ELL lesson where students create a Native American museum. The lesson incorporates standards from the Social Studies Georgia Standards of Excellence, the Language Arts Georgia Standards of Excellence, the English Language Development Standards, and ISTE standards. This project was designed to teach students how Native Americans use their resources in different regions to survive. The lesson was guided by the following essential questions. We began the lesson with a KWL chart. The students knew some background information from their social studies class, but they still had some questions that they wanted to know. I created an outline so that the teacher could have a guide for what was going to happen throughout the project. Additionally, the students had a checklist where they could keep up with what was due. We started the lesson by letting the students explore using Google Tour Builder. Students reviewed different Native American regions in North America and recorded observations on this graphic organizer. So I used Google Tour Builder to spark interest in the regions and also to get the students to start making observations on the land and the different animals and the different shelters and the different resources found in each region. So the students started at the Arctic region, and I linked some pictures and some videos where they could record observations on their graphic organizers, not only what they saw on the land, but also what they saw in the pictures. The students were English language learners, and one of the assistive technology tools we used was Google Translate. If the students did not know a word, they would type the unfamiliar word into Google Translate, and it would translate it into their native language, Spanish. In addition, they could listen to the word in their native language. The students were put in flexible groups where they began their research. Students used a hyperlinked Google slide to locate the region they were researching and to click on the image to find a hyperlinked research site. Snap and Read Universal allowed the students to listen. It leveled the text and gave students more familiar vocabulary words when needed. And it allowed the students to change the text to their native language. And then, of course, they could listen to the text. Students began to draft their essay. To scaffold this, students were given a writing outline. CodeWriter is a predictive word, a software that I originally wrote into the lesson, but not a lot of students use this because it's not compatible with Microsoft Office 365. So I did let a few students type in Google that really needed it, but it really wasn't used as I had planned. When students were finished writing their draft, they used Immersive Reader to help them revise and hear mistakes in their writing, and also to practice for their oral report. So to find Immersive Reader, you go to View, Immersive Reader, and you can click on the first word you want it to read and press play. When the students were finished writing their reports, they were to record their oral reports in Voki or Adobe Spark. All the students chose Voki, I think, for the animation aspect. Students chose how they wanted to produce an artifact that went with their oral report based on their learning style. Many of the students produced animotos, stop-motion videos, or pictographs. Two rubrics were used to assess the students. The students were assessed on their project and also on their ability to reflect on their project. One of the other KSU coaches, Anna Bilyeu, set up a Padlet for the students to share and reflect on their work. The lesson went very well, and I was very proud of the engagement. These are a few things to consider. I want to focus especially on the digital citizenship component. I really wish that I would have built this into the beginning of the lesson so that students could have a good background on how to find resources and cite their sources and also use images correctly.